Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am here with September's cards, tags, and more kit from Jolie Kit. There is this Prima trim package and this pack of Prima flowers, a 4-piece die set. Of this 4-piece set, 2 of the pieces are for solid outline pieces, and the other 2 pieces, they don't have edges, so they won't cut out a whole piece. They will just cut out the decorative edges. And then there are these 8x8 and these they're about A4 size sheets from the Paper Boutique, and this little ink pad, which is a pigment ink. So once it is dry, it's gonna stay put. It is not water soluble, so it won't smear. Alright, the first 2 cards I am making this month, because I am actually going to be doing cards all month for all 3 of my cards, tags, and more kit projects. But these first 2 cards are a couple of pop-up cards that I created. And I do start out, I get all of my pieces, or at least the majority of my pieces, cut out ahead of time and stacked up so that all I have to do is start the assembly process. These are the 2 pieces that I have decided to use on the insides of my 2 cards. So you can see, to make sure that nothing shifts while I'm running it through my Sizzix, I taped my dies down and taped my paper down with my pattern papers picked out that I am going to be using. I am going to start cutting out all of my different card pieces. For my 2 card bases, I just used some white cardstock from my stash and cut out those bases, and then moved on and started cutting out the pattern paper pieces that would be going inside my cards. For this card, before I pulled off this center part, I decided to ink the strips that would be going on top of the pop-out pieces. So I kept the cutaway part around it to protect my mat, and that allowed me to not have to be careful when I inked them. It gave me a flat surface to work on. It was just a lot easier to ink them when they're all together like this than if I had tried to ink them after they were off. And honestly, I'm quite surprised that I thought of doing it the easy way first. That's not normally like me. And there you have it, all of my pieces cut out and ready to just start being glued down. Before I added the background pieces for the main section of the inside, I decided to ink them up so they would stand out just a little bit more. So I put a piece of parchment paper underneath and then just used a scrap piece to help protect my edges. Then I added some foam squares to the 2 solid pieces. I used the die to cut out a temporary stencil that I could use on top of that pattern paper so that ink would show through the cutouts on the left hand side of that rectangle. I wanted to add a little bit extra shine to the sentiments, so I grabbed up a glitter pen and a couple of jelly pens and then just traced over what was already there. With the inside put together, I'm just going to add the finishing touches to the front of the card. I just grabbed up this bit of paper and overlapped it so that those pink edges would be on the outside of that die cut. Roughed up the edges a little bit, added some of the ink, added my glitter and jelly pens, and finished putting this card together. I put this second pop-up card together in the same general way. I cleaned up some of the cuts, added my decorative stitching around the edges of the pattern paper, and then just glued down the inside pieces. For the outside of this card, because I have that pop out part so far forward so that it would stay near the edge when it was open, I inked half of this cover piece so that when it was open it would just show the pink ink instead of just plain white paper. And then I started the process of creating my inside flowers. I cut out the flowers from the 2 sheets that I had picked. I just fold them over where that large V is to create a little bit of a cone shape, and then I just add some folds in so they will pop up when the card opens. While the card was still able to lie flat, I added my jelly pins to the sentiments on this one, and then started the process of gluing my flowers in. I don't glue them down completely. I just add some glue to the edges of petals that are going to be making contact with the card or contact with the petals of another flower, so that it creates kind of a chain reaction on the pop out part when it opens. Alright, that's it. Both cards are done. The glue is dry. They're really very simple cards. Most of the time is spent gluing things into place or waiting for the pieces to cut out. But once the assembly starts, it goes rather quickly. I hope that you enjoyed these 2 pop-up cards and they gave you some ideas on what you can do with the cards, tags, and more kit this month. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you haven't already, so you will always be informed when new videos are posted. Give us a thumbs up and feel free to share this video. Thank you, and I will see you again next week.